All right, I just finished a brand new ebook that is a tell-all case study for how I went from a side business back in 2016 to creating a six-figure personal brand. And it's broken down into 7 different chapters with part of my story, takeaways from that chapter of my business and life journey, and then journal prompts for you that will help to guide you along your own journey. So I'm going to read you and show you the first chapter and the takeaways, and then if you're interested, you can download it through the link in my bio. Chapter 1. My former career was in special education. I taught middle school RSP for 8 years, went back to school and got a master's degree in educational leadership, and landed my, at that time, dream job as a program specialist for a school district special education department in Silicon Valley. I started my online entrepreneurial journey in June of 2016 while I was on maternity leave from that role. My daughter was born in April, and apparently I didn't have enough new on my plate, so I started a blog, Tailor Made Mama, and my brand. In retrospect, this was a super pivotal decision, although I didn't see it that way at the time. I was desiring to connect with, inspire, and encourage other new moms, particularly those who were struggling with how to do things the right way when it came to working versus not working, maternity leave, whether or not to return to work, new identities, etc., and fielding all the judgments and internal mom guilt that come along with those decisions. I was used to hard work, and this felt like a playful version of that. Side note, I actually started my first blog way back in 2009, and it was called Reaching the 10%. It's slightly cringy, but you can check that out here, hyperlinked, if interested. I didn't have a clue about personal branding back then, but it was actually the start to my journey, and it's funny to think back on how I did in fact have a brand and practice much of what I now preach, even unknowingly. Anyhow, I had every intention of continuing on in the field of special education, returning from maternity leave, and hopefully becoming the director of special education in a couple of years' time. But of course, these intentions were set before I actually had my daughter and realized how gut-wrenching it was actually going to feel to me to have to be away from her all day, all week long. 1, takeaways. Number 1, just get started. I didn't have a big mind battle with myself going back and forth about whether or not to start my brand or launch the blog, and I just started taking steps and making space to learn and grow along the way. Number 2, I spent a lot of time learning how to do all the things because I wasn't even aware that you could take courses or hire coaches to shortcut the process. If I could go back, I would absolutely collapse that time. But at the same time, I know that learning those skills myself is a large part of my now zone of genius and the way I'm able to help my clients to grow their business now. So to that point, the third takeaway is that nothing is wasted. So my former career and beginning as a blogger influencer absolutely adds to why I'm successful at what I do now. You really do get to take your experiences and many, many, many transferable skills with you wherever you go. So now there are some prompts for you to journal on to hopefully inspire you and encourage you along your entrepreneurial journey and reflect on things. So 1, what would you do with your brand and business if you knew you would eventually achieve financial success doing so? Just creative inspiration, what would you be doing? What are some of the life or work experiences you have had that have transferable skill sets or lessons to your online business or the online business of your dreams?